Alright, welcome back to Arc RC Adventures. This is a quick recap of my trip to Gatlinburg. That was, well, it was an RC failure. So, the Unimog here, I don't know if you can tell, he doesn't look very good anymore. I've got warping down there. His top's all warped. The worst part, he got it, was in the bed. You can kind of see my bit right here that I 3D printed. It kind of U-shaped on me. I had this sitting in the truck bed, covered truck bed, for 3 or 4 days before I got a chance to actually use it because it was a family vacation. I was going to do this, play with these on Thursday in a creek I found on Bash Maps. And I pulled it out of the truck finally because I left it in the truck all week, and it looked like this when I pulled it out. Which I should have known better. PLA does not like heat, and it was mid-90s, almost upper 90s every single day with about 60% humidity, maybe 70%. It was very, very hot. It was like walking around in soup. That air was just, it was just bad. So this body's pretty much shot. It never got its maiden voyage, which is very disappointing. I didn't even run it because if you can see here, I mean, the body's just, the suspension's not really compressed and it's just eating into that tire. I didn't want to hurt anything because the chassis and everything's completely fine. It's just that body is warped and dead, which is upsetting because I really liked how this body came out because I put a lot of effort into it. So I'm going to print a new body for him. I'm going to do it out of PET G this time instead of PLA. A lot of people on Facebook were telling me to do it out of ABS, which I would love to do it out of ABS, but I have a Bamboo A1, so that's one of the open air printers, and ABS is not recommended for that because of the heat. It'll warp. So until I get an enclosed printer, I will be doing that out of PETG. I kind of want to try PCTG, but it's very expensive compared to PETG. So I'm just not going to worry about it. So I pulled this out of the truck. It was warped. Body was into the tires. So he didn't get ran. So I took Marvin with me, which is my Mantis build. It's like, okay, I can at least get some cool shots of Marvin running, right? So I went down to the place I found on Bash Maps, and it was a creek. It had some very, very deep places to it, but I'd found this cool, there's some really nice rocks along the edge that I was trying to run on, but they were river rock, and they were so slick that I couldn't get up them. I just had no traction. So I found this cool path across the creek, and it was all rocks. There was one little spot where it kind of dipped down, but from what I was seeing, I was like, oh, it'll keep it up above the water. It won't get any of the electronics wet. My tires might get a little wet, but the electronics will be fine. No. It got splashed. It did not get submerged. She got splashed, and the electronics immediately stopped working. I had steering for a minute, and then the steering gave it up too. So I took my, what is this, the RC4GM. I took the cover off of it. I dried it off real good, cleaned it up to try to prevent corrosion, which I did. I don't see anything on there. What's left on there, if you can see that, focus. What's left on there, that goo is, there's a sticker there. There's a little bit of adhesive left on there. But it looks pretty good. I put the conformal coating on this when I set this up like a year ago. There's a few spots I can't quite get to, but I thought, well, with the wrap that's on here, maybe it'll be okay if it gets splashed. No. Even with the conformal coating on there to help protect it from some water, it got splashed, it got angry, and stopped working. So within 5 minutes, this guy was dead. So then he made it 6 foot into the creek. So I was like, okay, I gotta go get it. I had that in my hand, and the rock I stepped on with my right foot decided it didn't want to be where it was at anymore, and it shifted, and my entire leg went into the creek. Which, as I said, parts of it were deep and parts of it weren't. Went down to my right knee. The water was knee deep. So then I tried to recover, and then my left foot slipped right off the river rock, and it went a little bit, probably almost like thigh deep. And then because I was falling, my left hand instantly wanted to go down to brace myself, and that had the controller in it, and I completely put that controller underwater for probably like 5 seconds, 10 seconds, while I kind of gathered myself, resituated, and managed to grab this guy and get out of there. So that was probably underwater for 5 to 10 seconds. I took the battery out of it immediately. There was a little bit of water inside of the screen. I don't see that anymore. But we still turn on. Oh. Did I lose the enter button? Nope, I did not. Good. So this thing took the water and is fine. From what I can tell, everything still works, which is fantastic, because nobody wants to have to buy a new remote, and I have every single one of my crawlers on this guy. So, Radiolink, good job. It survived a 10-second submerged session, and is now still alive to tell the tale. I have not put power to this for about 3 days. Let's see what happens when I plug everything back in. Where's number one? One's up top. We're just going to plug everything back in. See if the secure decided it dried out. With how hot it was, I wish I had something to have blown out the water. Obviously, I had the sleeving on there. I cut that off, and I keep rags on my truck, so I wiped it down, and I was trying to blow out in between the cracks and crevices to try and get the water out. And then it just sat in this super hot truck bed for a few days, which would probably help bake out some of that water. So let's see what happens. Well, that's positive. I didn't expect the servo to have any problems. Our Three Brothers are supposed to be waterproof. We have drive. Okay. So that's positive. We're back to operational. Turn this off. I don't have anything protecting the naked board. So that's good. So the Mantis is going to be alive again. I was surprised how much... So I was trying to climb some rocks. These are Traxxas axles. And this only gives me, I believe, 18%. This is the OD3 from the carbon fiber OD3 from Amazon. It only gives me 18% overdrive. So I think it wants more. I don't have any gears for the Traxxas axles. I might look them up, see if I can find, so I can get another 10% and go up to maybe 28% overdrive, because it was pushing. It was pushing bad. And that was kind of surprising me. So I'm going to bump it up to like 28%. I'm going to take this apart a little bit more. There's not too much to take apart. The Traxxas axles, I mean, everything on this had gotten blown apart. I greased everything and cleaned it all up when I assembled it, so I'm not worried about any of the grease. That Cow RC grease does not care about water. It just does great. But these axles need wiped down, and I'll oil them, and I had waxed. I used the Crawler Canyon's method of using the e-bike chain wax on the joints on the drive shafts, which keeps it from squeaking. And it also, I think it really helps with keeping the water out, because it still looks fine. The ginormous hair there. It's kind of gross. I have a little bit of surface rust in there. You can see it. I think if I just take a little bit of oil and a rag, I think I can just wipe that down and it'll be fine. I don't think that's anything to worry about. But that's my recap from Gatlinburg. I didn't even have a chance to get any footage because I got this wet within the first 5 minutes. So I was kind of like, well, I'll drive around a little bit, pick a few spots that I could get some cool shots of, and go from there. And then it died. So I'm glad it's working. You'll see him again. We'll get him. And I really want to go down to Dundee Falls, but I don't know if I have time. But I'll get some running footage of him here soon. I really want to see him run somewhere, climb some good rocks. I might have a 10% for this. I might have one of those gears, because I was going to put it in blue, but I didn't end up using it, or I didn't like the mesh. The thing is, I didn't like the mesh. Maybe I'll mess with it for this to give it that 10%. Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, that's my recap from Gatlinburg. The failure for our scene of that trip. Still had a great time. It's beautiful down there. If you ever get a chance to go down to the Smokies, because we were in Pigeon Forge. We stayed at a cool hotel. Love going down there. They have some really cool driving auto trails. There's obviously lots of great hiking. We had a black bear in Cade's Cove that was probably 4 or 5 foot away from the truck. So we got some good pictures of that. The wife was super excited to see the black bear. She loves black bears. But yeah, it was a great time, but a failure for the RCs. So I will get these guys cleaned up. You won't see him for a while because I've got to print probably everything out of PETG. I am going to try something different with his new body though. He's going to be printed out of PETG. I'm going to do some light sanding. I know PETG is not supposed to be great for bodywork wise. I'm going to do some very light sanding, and I'm going to clear coat it. So I bought a darker gray because I really like this color. He's going to be a little bit lighter than this though with the new gray I bought. Metallic gray silver I bought in PETG. Printed out of PETG, light sand, clear coat. See what happens. I don't know, maybe it'll look cool. I'm afraid you're going to see a lot of layer lines, which I'm not excited about. But we'll see. I want to try it. If I don't like it, I'll change my methods. Because I also have Blue's body. God, I have Blue's body almost ready to go together. Which is really upsetting because that's a 6x6 Unimog, same body. But it's all printed out PLA, and I'm really afraid of the same thing happening. But if I keep it out of the heat, it'll be fine. But I already have it all glued together. But I haven't painted it or sanded it yet. So let me know. Should I abandon that and just reprint everything out of PETG? Because I also got Blue, so I can print his body out of PETG and do the same thing. Light sand, try and knock down some of the layer lines, and then I figure I'll just clear coat it just so it has that nice gloss. And that wet look should help with that sanding. It should make it not look sanded anymore. It should make it look like this. I don't know. Put your comments down below, and we'll see what happens. But thanks for watching. If you would be so kind to subscribe or even like the video, that would be great. And I'll see you on the next one.